Hello, how are you guys? I hope you all is in a well condition. Today, me and my group will explain about personality development, and these are our group members. This is definition of attitudes. Attitudes arise because there is a stimulus to form an attitude that is much influenced by stimuli by the social and cultural environment. For example, family, norms, religion groups, and customs. In this case, the family has a big role in shaping the for attitude of the son because family is the most dominant factor for changing attitude for their children in the form of action or behavior. So, attitude change is the occurrence of difference in individual attitudes in responding to a stimulus or stimulation from the social environment. The change occurs from time to time.
Attitudes change theory. 1. Rosenberg theory. In this theory, Rosenberg focused more on the relationship of cognitive component and affective component. According to Rosenberg, the cognitive understanding in attitudes includes not only knowledge related to object attitudes, but also attitudes belief about the relationship between the object of the attitude and the system of value that exists within the individual. The affective component relates to how a person who accompanies his or her attitudes can be positive and can also be negative according to the object of his attitude. Number 2 is the theory of Festinger. Festinger theory is known as the cognitive dissonance theory. This theory is associated with real behavior, which is an issue that invites much debate. According to Festinger, cognitive elements include knowledge, views, belief about the environment, about a person or action. The notion of dissonance is that it does not match between two or three cognitive elements. If an element does not match another cognitive element, it will cause dissonance.
The things that affect personality consist of habit and behavior, speaking ability, and health. Habit and behavior can be caused by environmental factors. For example, someone who is educated by their parent become very disciplined and doesn't speak harshly. The second is speaking ability. Speaking ability can affect one's personality or that of another person based on the word he or she or others speak. The more positive the word in speaking, the more positive the result can be, and vice versa. The third is health. Health can affect a person's personality based on the person's mindset. For example, during the current pandemic, a person can experience anxiety for fear of contracting or transmitting COVID-19. And this is another affect personality. The first is internal factor. This factor is the selectivity or select power a person to accept and cultivate influence that come from the outside. For example, a man who is very thirsty to pay more attention to stimulant can remove his thirst from other stimulant. The second is external factor. This factor is social interaction outside the group. For example, the interaction between human and the result of human culture that reaches it through communication tools such as newspaper, radio, magazine, and so on. And the third is communicator. The most tangible and believable misreference is that the better a person's judgment of the communicator, the easier it is for the person to change his or her attitude. And the fourth is communication. The better a person's assessment of a communication is, the more likely it is that someone will change his or her attitude. And five is situation. The situation a person faces will encourage a person to change his or her attitude. And the last is target. Target characteristic and target experience affect a message and will also affect a message.
Driving factor experience. Everyone has a unique personality. The personality possessed by a person will have an influence on the way of thinking until the appearance of one's behavior. His research says that it turns out that it is not only life events that can cause change in a person's personality traits, but also the effects between the existence of life events and personality. Romantic relationship. Study compared the personality of people who have romantic relationship with the personalities of people who remain single or even separate. According to Neyer and Asendorf, someone who has a romantic relationship for the first time show a decrease in neuroticism traits and an increase in extraversion and conscientiousness traits compared to those who are single. They tend to experience reduction in depression and social anxiety.
Disease is appearance to describing people and things, and you can look at the picture. We'll explain about efforts to build personality. The first one is learning for personal development. There are many reasons why people learn for personal development. The first is you may want to increase your knowledge or skill around a particular hobby or pastime that you enjoy. 2. Perhaps you want to develop some entirely new skill that will in some way enhance your life. Take a pottery or car mechanic course for example. Perhaps you want to research a medical condition or your ancestry. And the next is perhaps you planning a trip and want to learn more about the history and culture of your destination. And the last is maybe you will decide to take a degree course later in life simply because you enjoy your chosen subject and the challenge of academic study. In the next, B. Make personal. By no means I am saying that there are people who have no personality at all, think everyone is unique in their own way. But this is not about what I or anyone else think about you. This is about what you think of your own personality and whether you like it or not. If you feel like your personality is boring and bleak, you want to stand out a little more in the circle of your friends and colleagues. You always admire others, but never admire yourself. It seems too hard to catch up with all the interesting stuff and everyone else is coming up. And the next is play a role. In our own work, we found that psychological team roles are largely a product of people's personalities. For example, consider team members who are one is results oriented. A 2 is relationship focused. And a 3 is process and rule followers. And 4, innovative and disruptive thinkers. And the last is pragmatic. Okay guys, thank you for your attention. If there are any mistakes of my word or my friend word, please forgive us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.